All right, what's up, everybody? Good to see everyone on here. What's going on? All right, so again, welcome to the Quick Start webinar. My name is Noah Harris. You can call me Coach Noah. A few things before we dive into this. We do this webinar every single Thursday at 1 o'clock Eastern Time. We're here to practice. We're here to learn. We're here to network. We're going to check all of those boxes on this call. This is going to be a fun call. All right, cool. So here we go. Every time that I teach a webinar or in front of a group, even my accelerator class, the same 20 students I've been working with over the last couple of weeks, they're used to seeing this slide. We share this slide every single time. And reason being, this is a constant reminder. I use this slide as a constant reminder to tell people that private money lending is risky, right? If a person does not know what they're doing, the last thing they need to be doing is lending money, right? If a person doesn't know what types of questions to ask to a borrower, if they don't know what types of questions to ask about the deal itself that they're lending on, they got no business lending money, right? And a big reason why I love teaching this topic, I'm a big believer that private money lending is a great way for people to create win-win scenarios. People who have real estate deals that need money and people who have money and love the idea of having their funds earning interest while being secured by real estate that's worth much more, right? I'm a big believer in this. I would not be where I am today without my private money lenders. And I like to think that my private money lenders would say the same thing about me, right? Hey, without that guy Noah, I don't know where I'd be right now, right? That's the idea. We want to help one another in this business. And I started teaching private money and really kind of make it my mission to help as many people as possible because you guys, I had friends who lost money or almost lost money because they were private money lenders, but they didn't know like what documents to have. And they would come to me and say, "Hey, no, I know you know more about this. The loan was supposed to be 12 months and it's been 18 months. I'm starting to get worried." Yeah, you think? And I would ask them, "Hey, did you get these documents before you wired the funds? Did you talk about these things here?" And they're like, "No, we didn't talk about anything like that." Okay, well, did you ask them these questions about themselves and their business? They said no. Did you ask them these questions about the property, like in the deal itself? And they said, "I didn't even know." And me, I'm not a real estate person. I didn't think to ask these things. And it's also really simple. These are very simple things. And these are some of the things that we talk about on this call every single week, right? And when I ask people, "Hey, well, what happened?" They'd be like, "Well, this person was offering 15%, 20%, 25%. We can't get caught up in just the interest, right? Lenders don't get caught up in the interest, right? We got to make sure that we're doing things the right way. We're not letting our greed glands take over when we see those high interest rates. We want to make sure we're doing this the right way. And that's what this webinar is all about. So welcome to the party, right? I love it. I love it. Here we go. Here's the game plan. So those of you who are logging on for the first time, we always start right at 1 o'clock. We keep it real estate. There's a ton of ways to make money. There's a lot of investment opportunities out there. There's a lot of lending opportunities out there. On this call here, we talk about lending on real estate, right? And borrowing on real estate. Real estate is the collateral. So if you're on this call and you're like, "Man, I want to figure out how to use private money lenders to go out there and buy a house, fix it up, and flip it," you're in the right room. If you're looking for short-term rentals, long-term rentals, mid-term rentals, rental properties, multifamily. Last week we were talking about mobile homes and mobile home parks, right? You're in the right room. You're on the right Zoom call, right? If you're on this call and you're looking for ways to put your money to work and have those funds secured by real estate while making a great interest rate, you're in the right room, right? We're learning every single week on how to do this the best way that we know how, right? Couple things here. Participation is absolutely encouraged. So get your fingers ready. If you're on your laptop, get your fingers all warmed up, right? Be ready to get active in the chat box. If you're on your cell phone, get those thumbs ready to type in the chat box, right? But questions, if you have any questions at all, like I love questions. I hope to answer every single question that pops up here. But we have a system for that, right? Just like we have a system for teaching people how to do this business and a system for asking questions to borrowers and lenders, we have a system for the webinar here. So if you have any questions at all, type them in the question box. All right. So if you type a question in the chat, it's a good chance I'm going to miss it because the chat's just going to be like flowing. It's going to be too much in here, right? Victoria is right. Get excited. Get excited. This is going to be an awesome session here, right? Welcome to the party, Victoria. All right, here we go. PMC team is in the chat. You see my man Jose Harkin there. Just said, welcome everyone. Any questions or to book a call with us, here's the link. That's a PMC Private Money Club team member. That's my co-pilot on this webinar, Jose Harkin. So I'm glad to have Jose here. He keeps it easy for me, just lets me teach. Well, he kind of assists. And if I say, hey, Jose, throw this link up. Hey, Jose, someone's asking about YouTube videos. Hey, Jose, someone wants to take this class. Have no fear. Jose is here. He's just gonna put the link in the chat box there, and you can schedule time to talk with him or call him directly to talk about whatever you want to talk about. All experience levels are welcome. All right, and this is important. I know how many of you are brand new to. Let's just go real estate first, right? Let's break this down. I know on this call, I think I got a slide about this, Jose. Let's see what we're working with here. I'm going to skip to this one. What are your goals, right? How many of you are on this call and you would consider yourself to be a borrower, right? You're a real estate person. And this could be someone that's looking to do their first deal. This could be someone that's looking to do their 1,000th deal, right? How many of you would consider yourself to be borrowers? Type borrower in the chat box. I see a lot of you are raising your hand, which is good. I love that. Let's see what we're working with here, because this is going to be really good. If you're real transparent with me on where you're starting from, then I can get into different things based on what you need, right? Are we borrowers? All right, here they come. All right, I love it. Right, there's my real estate people, okay? And how many of you would consider yourself to be a lender? You're like, hey, I'm someone that, maybe I haven't done a deal yet, but I love the idea of being able to put my money to work at a double-digit interest rate, have those funds secured by real estate. Where are my lenders at? Let's see how many people we can get to participate here. I love it. Victor getting fancy using the 8s and the 3s. Never seen that before. All right, cool. Here we go. Lender here. Hey, is anybody both? We have a lot of real estate investor friends and some of my lenders that are they're real estate investors and they borrow money for their own fix and flips. But then because they used to work at like a corporate job or something like that, they have a 401k from previous employers and they roll that over into a self-directed Roth IRA and now they lend money on other deals. So it looks like there's a lot of people that are both too, which is awesome. All right, cool. All right, got my UCF mug, baby. College football starts tonight. Golden Knights, Central Florida. Here we go. All right, so we got borrowers, we got lenders. I love it. For everyone who just participated on the call, we've got about 115 people or so on the call right now. What would you say is your experience level? How many of you are brand new to this? How many of you are brand new? Just type brand new in the chat box. I love this. All right, cool. And I would guess, from my experience with Private Money Club and seeing everybody on Private Money Club, there's a lot of people who are, when it comes to lenders, are brand new because maybe they went out and they found Chris Naugle, the founder of Private Money Club, on a webinar, or maybe they have an infinite banking policy, which is like their own banking policy. Some of you know what I'm talking about. Some of you are like, what are you talking about? But I meet a lot of people who have their banking policy set up their whole life, and that's their whole IBC. Thank you, Fern. How many of you are IBC lenders? You're like, all right, I got all set up on my own banker. I'm ready to rock and roll. I'm just trying to figure out how to take my own bank and put that money to work. Type IBC in the chat box if that's you. Brad just started it this month. Chris, Albert, IBC, Andrew. Wow. Okay, cool. I love this. So you guys are in the right place, man. You're in the right place. We just got to learn, right? There's so many different people that we could lend to. There's so many different types of deals we could do. Education is key. And something I've been trying to talk to, I teach a class called the Accelerator Program, and everything is about taking action. But I also don't want you to become a motivated lender. Does that make sense? Like, Just because you got your policy set up, please don't just willy-nilly start putting it to work. That's your money. It's you got the whatever, whether it's IBC policy, an IRA, money in the savings account, however you're gonna become a lender and put that money to work. Let's make sure we're not motivated lenders. Let's make sure that we're motivated educators. All right. It's so much more important to attend webinars like this, learn how to do this stuff the right way. Because as I was telling my class, think about the funding that you have set aside right now. And I'm not going to ask anyone to name numbers in the chat box. I don't want anyone to be like, I have 50 grand, I have 100 grand, I have 200 grand. Like, this isn't the place for that. In Private Money Club, that might be a better spot to do that. But here's my point. It only takes one or two or three people, probably, good borrowers, for you to find that you can work with routinely to help you hit those goals that you have for yourself. Does that make sense? Like I told my class last night, if you're in my accelerator course or you took my accelerator course, type it in the chat box here. Some of you are like, what is he talking about? I'll tell you what it is here in a minute. But if you're currently enrolled in accelerator or have taken the accelerator class, please let me know if you're here. I love seeing your guys' names. All right, cool. Patty, for sure. All right, all right, what is this? I'll tell you here in a minute, Victoria. One of the things that I was teaching in accelerator class last night, or just talking about, is, you're going to kiss a lot of frogs before you find your prince, right? You're going to kiss a lot of frogs before you find your princess. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's all about how many relationships you're cultivating. How many people are you talking to? Like, and being on webinars like this is a great place to kind of kickstart that. That's why it's called the Quick Start. When it comes to meeting people, right? When it comes to private money lending and things like this, we don't necessarily have the luxury of being able to talk to family and friends about becoming our private money lenders. They don't understand it. They don't get it. They're not taught. People aren't taught this in grade school, high school, or college, right? So it's difficult. But when you're in rooms like this, on Zoom calls like this, and networking with people like this, it's very easy for people to grasp what you're doing, because we're all in the same community. We're on the same page. But that doesn't mean we're not having conversations with people, right? I hope I didn't go down a rabbit hole there. I hope you guys understand what I'm talking about. But just get active, take action, right? This is the 29th week in a row that we've done the Quick Start webinar. I got my man Eric Dickerson there. Hey, it doesn't matter if you want to be in the NFL or do something else. If you want something, great. You won't get it sitting around. All right. So we got to start having conversations with people and meeting people. If your goal is to become a lender this year, 2024, we got to start having conversations with people that could potentially be great borrowers. And if you want to get off the fences and start buying real estate using other people's funds, like we're talking about here with private money, it's going to involve you getting out there, doing something different, having conversations you don't normally have, and being comfortable with being uncomfortable, right? Which is awesome. All right, so if you're just tuning in for the first time, welcome. My name is Noah Harris. I am a real estate investor from Columbia, South Carolina. Real estate investing is all that I do outside of just teaching with the Private Money Club. For a long time, real estate has been my thing. I come from a coaching background. I come from the coaching industry as a student, as someone who believes in taking classes and going out there, applying and accomplishing things. My real estate business has been around for quite some time now, a little over 10 years. This is our house flipping business. We are big believers on creating great relationships with private money lenders. And here's a news flash. Nothing crazy here that I'm teaching. If you want to become a great borrower, if you want to get great at borrowing money, you got to become a great borrower. If you want to get great at asking people for funds, be a great resource for people. If you want to be great at borrowing money, you got to know the game. You got to know what to say it, how to present, but then you got to be able to talk the talk. Can't just walk the walk, right? So when it comes to real estate investing, it's also important to know, hey, who's on your team? Who are your real estate attorneys? Who are your contractors? Who are your real estate agents, right? How to estimate repairs, all of these things. So there's so much to learn, you guys. I hope, and just don't ever stop learning. Don't ever stop learning. There's so much to learn. I'm really fired up right now, and I got some cool resources I'm gonna share with you. But my goal for everyone that's on this call is just to consistently create that 100% track record, right? Nothing I want more than next time I see you on a webinar or in person, you say, hey, Noah, I took that quick start webinar with you and I did your accelerator class and that was a few years ago, but guess what? Since then, 100% track record. 100% track record lending my money and getting it back and getting interest. 100% track record borrowing people's funding, paying it back and doing deals over and over and over again, right? That's what we strive for. This is a relationship-based business, and a lot of what we love to talk about and teach is how to build those relationships. But at the end of the day, you got to make sure that you feel really good about the assets, the deals, and things like that. And this is what we're going to talk about here today. I do teach a program for Private Money Club called the Quickstart Coaching Program. Jose can put a link in there if you guys are interested in learning more about that. We've got another class starting up right now. We have one about halfway through, and we got another one coming up thanks to the Private Money Club. We work on things like elevator pitches, presenting deals, underwriting. Basically, I try my best to teach from the borrower's perspective and then also from the lender's perspective. And then each type of individual can kind of tune into the other person's classes to learn what they're learning, and it just makes you a better borrower and it just makes you a better lender, right? So if you're interested in that, I got some dates upcoming here. I'll share them with you here in a minute. So we got our lenders, we got our borrowers. I love to do a roll call. Who's in the club? Who's in Private Money Club right now? If you are in Private Money Club right now, type PMC in the chat box. If you're a PMC Premier member, type that in the chat box. So I know there's three types of people on this call, all right? I know there's three types of people on this call. I love every single one of you the same. I got folks that are brand new. You're like, I don't even know what Private Money Club is. I'm about to blow your mind. The gates are opening here. You're going to love it, right? I got some folks that are free members with Private Money Club. What's the difference? I'll kind of share with you what that looks like. And then we got our Premier members, of course, that we love so much. So here's what's going on. If you're just logging in for the first time, you're like, what is Private Money Club? Private Money Club is a platform, all right? It's a community. And I think that's the best way to put it. It's a platform. It's a community of like-minded people where borrowers can meet lenders and lenders can meet borrowers. There's no broker, all right? No broker, right? It's people that say, hey, I've got money. I want to learn how to lend my money and make a nice interest rate and have it secured by real estate. I love that idea. And it's got people in there that says, hey, I'm a real estate investor. I love the idea of working with people and not institutions or banks or funds, right? And then they can connect and do. Every single person on this call, I'm going to give you an assignment here. You should have a profile. Like by day's end, you should have a Private Money Club profile. There's a couple different options. There's a free option. You can go create a free profile, have a demo call scheduled with Jose and his team to kind of give you the VIP tour behind the scenes of how Private Money Club works. And then if you're like, man, this is awesome, jump up to Premier. It's a couple $1,000, all right? Couple $1,000. I'm super transparent. Premier membership, right, per year. The way that I look at this, I always get people that ask me, hey, Noah, is Premier membership worth it? Like, what's the deal? If you are using your own cash right now to fund your real estate deals, you are missing out on opportunity. We need to start building private money lender relationships. If you are using hard money right now to fund your real estate deals, I promise you, you are paying too much. You are paying too much. My Private Money Club relationships that I have with the lenders that I've met and I've built relationships with, I'm saving on interest, I'm saving on points, I'm saving on junk fees, I'm saving on all the crap that goes along with working with hard money lenders. And I love hard money. I used hard money lenders for a real long time in my business, but I used hard money until I had built up enough private money lender relationships. You understand? So I used the banks, I used the funds. I was paying 14% and 4 points. I was paying 13% and 3 points for a real long time. But as soon as I started building up my relationships, I made the jump. And I'll never look back. I'm almost exclusive with private money lending except for my long-term 30-year buy and hold rental properties, all right? So here's what we work on this call. We work on credibility, right? If someone came to you, right? Bo, if someone came to you and said, hey, Bo, how many deals have you done? How many have you done, right? And if Bo was brand new, what does he say? What do they say, right? I've done zero, right? That's okay. That's okay. What if I told you that I could teach you how to be 100% transparent and build credibility at a higher level than someone that's done 100 deals? Would that be worth learning? Absolutely. Absolutely. So, I'll just give you an idea here. One of the things I'm real big on, and this is a good lesson for everybody on the call, and this is something I teach in the accelerator course, like right away, day one. We're only as good as our team, right? Who's your real estate attorney? Who is your real estate agent? Who's the contractor that you're working with? Who is your home inspector? Who's your title? Who's your insurance company, right? Who's drafting the documents for you when you do your real estate closings? Who's your coaching? Where do you get your coaching? Where'd you get your education from around real estate, right? And so if we take the time to build all of these things, when we start asking for funds, we've insulated ourselves with the best of the best, right? So we're adding to our credibility, and these are some of the things that we work on here, helping you build your team, right? So if someone like Bo says, "Hey, look, I don't have any experience doing this. For the last 10 years, I had a career of doing this, right? And these are my responsibilities, and I believe I can take those same skill sets and put them right over here into real estate or into my investing or into my lending business." And also, before I even having conversation with you, Mr. Lender, I've gone out and I've surrounded myself with the best of the best, and I got a great community backing me, right? That person's going to say, "You know what? I'm listening. That makes sense. That makes sense." We also want to put in, we're also going to work on clarity every single week. We're going to work on, how does this work, right? Lots of times I see people outside of Private Money Club that are trying to put deals together, trying to present opportunities, trying to put their money to work, but maybe they don't have all the dots connected, right? And sometimes a confused mind will say no. So if you're having trouble presenting deals, talking to private money lenders, maybe it's just a matter of developing a better skill set around how to provide clarity of how it all works, so that person's like, "Wow, that's a fantastic idea. Like, yeah, I think I do want to do that. I want to learn more about that," right? Same thing goes for lending. How many of you are on this call right now? You said that you were a lender, but you haven't done a deal yet. Be honest, just say me in the chat box, right? How many of you are on here, you're ready to pull the trigger, but you haven't done a deal yet? Me. I see the me's coming in. And I love this, right? Because that tells me you're not a motivated lender. Like you're ready to go, but we need clarity. We need to make sure we're doing things the right way. Am I right? That's what these calls are all about. So tune in, confidence. If we have the first two, the confidence comes, and we got the community here to help back us. For years, I've been a part of Private Money Club for almost 2 years now. For a decade before that, when it came to building my private money lender relationships and network, it was an uphill battle. I had to go to real estate investor association meetings. I had to talk to my friends and family I had to practice on strangers my elevator pitch, and hopefully people were interested in what I had to say, right? I mean, we're going to practice the elevator pitch today, but again, like if I went up to someone and I said, "Hey, how would you like to make double-digit rate of return, have it secured by real estate that's worth much more than the amount that you've got in?" People would look at me like I have 8 heads, like they didn't know what I was talking about. And I was like, "Oh, well, you do a mortgage? No, da 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 da." I had to practice on people that weren't open to the idea. So when we're in Private Money Club as a free member, as a premier member, or just figuring this out for the first time, when you come in Private Money Club, everyone knows the essence of what private money is, so they're open and ready to hear your opportunities. Does that make sense? Right? So that's the community that we're also working on developing.
Your real estate business lives and dies by the network and the connections that you make. I mean, after all, your network, well, it's your net worth. That's what you always heard, right? If that's an area where you desire improvement, well, Private Money Club, it's for you. PMC saves you precious time and money by bringing the real estate world, well, right to you, right in the palm of your hand. So get in on the action like so many others have by going to privatemoneyclub.com and sign up.
Every single call that we do, just so you know, I'm going to give you assignments. So every single week, I'm a big believer in taking action. James knows this, right? Big believer in this. Don't just listen and do nothing. So I'm going to encourage you to pick a couple things here to work on. Number one, create your PMC profile, schedule a blueprint appointment demo. It's free to join Private Money Club. It's free to have Jose give you a tour, right? Go check it out, right? Jose, if you're with me, put the link up because I got someone messaging me directly. Thank you, sir. Also on the agenda, on the radar, we've got my a mobile home course. Last week we talked about mobile homes, manufactured homes, flipping them. My wife, who's right behind me, right here, Christy, she teaches a 4-week, what she calls a mobile home take action challenge. So she starts September 8th. That's a Sunday evening, and it's twice a week for 4 weeks. If you're interested in learning about investing in manufactured homes, you can also click the link there, and Jose can send you in the right direction of getting enrolled into that class. Our next accelerator course, where I help people, whether you want to be a borrower or you want to be a lender or both, our next course starts September 30th, so the end of next month. We are limiting that to 20 people. Right now, there's a little over 20 people in the class, and I felt like that's kind of my limit. That's my limit. I want to be able to make sure I'm giving you guys not just all the attention you need, want, and deserve on our calls, but also offline, because every day I'm answering emails and helping people build their lending and borrowing business. And then put it on the calendar, November 8th and 9th in Charlotte, North Carolina. Hey, if you're from the Carolinas, type it in the chat box. I'm in Columbia, South Carolina. Anybody else from the Carolinas? We've got people flying in from all over the country to attend this event. VIP is sold out. There's still general admission. This is being held at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, and it's going to be awesome. It's going to be fantastic. So if you haven't had an opportunity to attend an event in person, make sure you get there because it's going to be super cool. It's one thing to meet on a Zoom call where we're just looking at each other's names, but it's a whole another thing to actually go network with one another in person at a super cool environment, right? Which is awesome. Yeah. Rock Hill. There we go. Rock Hill. I love to see it. All right. So this is a good slide to kind of kick things off for our learning session here. Every single week we practice some fundamentals, some new stuff, and I'm going to get into this real quick. It's not a matter of if, but a matter of when people are going to ask you to explain why you're using a person as opposed to a bank. All right. So I'll give you just an example, right? Like Saturday, my wife and I are going to our friend's house to kick off college football. All right. So that, we're in Columbia, South Carolina. We've got the Carolina Gamecocks, Clemson Tigers, right? So we're going to a party, and that's going to be a great opportunity for networking, right? Anybody have something going on this weekend where you're going to have an opportunity to network and talk to friends and meet new friends, right? The Winthrop Eagles, get out of here, right? So I know that at this networking event, this barbecue that we're going to on Saturday, there are going to be people that are going to be asking me about what I do for a living, right? It's common when you meet someone for the first time. What's one of the first things that you ask them? Hey, what do you do for a living, right? So this is going to happen. And this is a great opportunity to practice our elevator pitches. I know that one of the questions that I'm going to get most likely is why people want, or why I use people as opposed to banks or hard money lending companies. They're going to ask that. So let's practice what we would say, right? What would we say, right? And so it's good to know the differences in all of these. So like with traditional banks, as a real estate investor, especially the type of real estate that I buy. So as real estate investors, I buy houses that need a lot of work, right? I buy houses that smell like cat pee. I buy houses that have leaky roofs. I buy houses that maybe there's boarded up windows. I buy houses that have foundation issues. I buy houses where a tree fell in the backyard and clipped the side of the house, right? I buy houses that traditional banks simply don't want to finance. Okay, so that's the first one, right? Traditional banks may have lower interest rates, but they're simply not going to lend on our types of properties, right? I also, as a real estate investor, need to be able to move quickly and make offers where if it's important to the seller that we close fast, right? This is a fun question. How many of you feel like you live in a competitive market? How many of you feel like you live in a competitive market? Type it in the chat. Everybody, no matter who I'm talking to, everyone says yes. It doesn't matter where it's competitive out there, right? It's competitive. And there's a lot of investors and, properties that are, if there's a property, especially if it's on the MLS, like it's going to go, if it isn't already sold by the time it's posted, it's going to go within 24 hours, right? So lots of times when we're making our offers as real estate investors, we gotta, if it's important to the seller, we have to be able to close quickly. If I present an offer to buy someone's house for $500,000 and the same person, or there's three other people that can purchase it for $500,000 as well, or maybe even more than that, I'm going to come in and say, what's important to your seller? Is it important to your seller to close quickly? Because if so, I can get it done as soon as the title work comes back. We'll be ready to rock and roll, right? This could be 10 days or less. It could be 8 days or less. You guys, this week, we put a property under contract. It's going to the foreclosure auction on Tuesday. All right, it's going to the foreclosure auction on Tuesday, and we were able to help that seller stop the foreclosure. We're going to be buying the house and giving this seller money to go and move and get set up somewhere else, right? So we're able to do cool stuff. Traditional banks, they can't close on those timelines, right? So the first thing that we're looking for with private money lenders is the ability to close fast, right? And they don't care so much about the conditions of the properties. Now, on the other end of the spectrum from traditional banks is our hard money lenders, right? So a hard money lender, this is what they do. They love lending on real estate, fix and flips and buy and holds. This is what they do. Like, there's people who work for the hard money lending companies. Their sole purpose is to get that money out there working. The problem with that is because there's so many people that work for these companies and are finding these connections and brokering and all this stuff. There's a lot of money involved, right? It costs a lot of money, so they charge a lot, right? So from my standpoint here, I did an example last week we did a 3-day virtual boot camp called the 3-Day Essentials, and I showed on that class there the difference. If I paid 3% in points versus not paying points, basically I showed the cost of what it would be working with a local hard money lending company in my area and what I currently did to fund my deals. And just this year, I'm not even including interest rate, I'm just talking fees, I saved over $68,000 by sticking with private money as opposed to going to my hard money lender. So at the end of the day, it just costs more, right? It just costs more. And by the way, I don't know about you, but I love working with people. I love working with individuals with all different backgrounds, helping them hit their goals, helping them make money with their money. That to me is just is what it's all about, right? So this weekend, right? It's a 3-day weekend. What a great place to talk about financial freedom and getting to retirement quicker and making money with your money and quitting your job than Labor Day weekend. I mean, could the timing be any better to talk about financial freedom than while celebrating Labor Day out on the lake? I don't think so, right? So let's start practicing this. We're going to get into the elevator pitch, all right? Let me see. I got a couple questions here. In order to do the questions, I got to close my screen. So let's see what we got here. Let's see. If this is by the way, if this is a question that is very specific to you, I'm going to say just hang out in the end and I'll answer it. If it's a question I think the whole group could benefit from because we're learning about something that you're asking, I will answer it in front of everybody here. So, what would be the best option for someone who owns a condo unit in which the property is not in good condition at all? Quite a few owners and renters have moved because of the poor condition of the property. Would it be best to speak to a real estate lawyer? I don't know. What do you want to do with it? You want to fix it? You want to flip it? You want to sell it? You want to get rid of it right away? I mean, there's a lot of, so what's cool is the person that asked this is, hey, I got a condo unit. It needs a ton of work. What the heck am I going to do? Well, it just depends on what you want. Do you want to keep the asset and get it performing again? Or would you simply want to get rid of it and move on to something else, right? Is it a headache for you? Are you up at night stressing about it? maybe the best thing to do is to pick up the phone and call a real estate agent to see what they think the property might be worth, right? Maybe they can test the market for you. Maybe it'd be good to call a real estate agent in your or a real estate investor like myself or in your area. They can come in and give you an all cash offer. I don't know, like, but I guess it just depends on what you want to do with that property, right? What can you share about the Money Tank in November? I don't see any agenda for this conference. I've been telling Steven to put the agenda up there. Jose, I've been telling Xander to get the agenda up there. We've got people coming in talking about asset protection. Here's the thing. There's lots of topics. There's tons of topics that are going to be taught at the Money Tank event, but the absolute best value by attending Money Tank is the relationships that you are going to build. Hands down. Hands down. I went to the Money Tank event in Salt Lake City. I went to a PMC event in Mexico last year, and I remember the speakers. I'm full transparency. I remember the speakers. I definitely took notes. I have my notebooks here. They're probably in here somewhere. But my biggest takeaway from attending these types of events, it's not so much the topics, it's the people that you meet. It's the relationships that you build. It's the investment opportunities that you didn't even know existed because you talked to someone, during dinner that you had never met before, right? I know for a fact I would not have the lenders that I have that I've met through Private Money Club if I wasn't in Private Money Club, and if I hadn't gone to these types of events, I wouldn't have the same relationships. I know for a fact I'd never meet these people. So I would go into it, look at the topics. All right, this is pretty cool. It's gonna be awesome stuff. Real estate, money. You guys know Chris. It's gonna be great. The relationships is what I would focus on, if that makes sense, right? But we'll get the agenda up there. It's 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Friday, Saturday, Thursday night. They're doing a networking party at the hotel where they're telling everybody to stay. And then Saturday night, so it's at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, right? So it's at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. So we're going to a race Saturday night, which is kind of cool. So, they got a lot of cool stuff going on. Hope that helps. All right, here it is. What it's a private money loan. Private money loan. We're practicing the elevator pitch here, okay? Private money loan is a loan secured by real estate. At its simplest form, right? Simplest form. This is my definition of a private money loan. When I talk private money loans, it's a loan secured by real estate. And I've got those 4 magic words down there at the bottom. Just like a bank. Just like a bank. And I want people on this call to really soak that up. Because if you're thinking about lending money, yes, you can make a nice double-digit rate of return. It's beautiful. It's secured by real. Are you thinking and acting like a bank would? Right? So what do banks do before they wire the funds? They do their due diligence. They check you out. They check the property out. They have documents that protect their funds, right? They want collateral. So when you start thinking about lending and when you start thinking about borrowing, are you taking people through the same process, just like a bank, right? Just like a bank. That's a reminder to me, by the way. I'm not saying it's exactly like, but we want to think and act like a bank would. All right. And this is really handy also in getting that elevator pitch going, right? So for the barbecues this weekend, and you start talking to people about private money, one of the best ways to get folks excited about or maybe not excited, but having an understanding around it, right? And this is what we teach in Accelerator over and over and over again. One of the best things, easiest way to do it, if that person has bought a house before, right? Ask them, hey, have you ever, the house you live in now, did you purchase it? You own your house you live in now? Yeah, I own the house I live in now. Well, let me ask you a question. When you went to the closing, did you get a mortgage? Yeah, I got a mortgage, right? All right, great. So at closing, you signed a bunch of papers, like stacked like this thick, right? You got a mortgage, right? You signed a promise to pay back the loan, right? Yep. You got insurance on the property before closing set up. You called your State Farm agent. Yep. And you're personally guaranteeing the loan, yeah. So everything that a person does to go out and get the house that they live in, right, via a mortgage, is what we're gonna provide to them. So I would tell people, hey, look, just like when you bought a house and you got a mortgage, we do the same thing. We provide you with a mortgage, except now you're the bank. And you'll start to see those light bulbs go off. And it's a beautiful thing when people have those aha moments. It's like, wow, okay, I never thought about that. So instead of going to a bank, you just would come to me, and I would want to make sure that you had a mortgage and a promissory note and the insurance, and you did a title, lender's title policy, and all of these things. Exactly. Right? And watch the light bulbs go off. And to my folks on the call right now that are thinking about becoming lenders, right? Man, I tell you what, there's someone on here who just paid cash on a multifamily in Philadelphia. And they're like, man, I'm tired of using my own funds. I love people like that. If I was a lender, I'd be all over that. If I was a lender, I would go to find experienced investors, and I would say, hey, look, how are you paying for your properties right now? Oh, I purchased them using my own cash, or I purchased them using hard money. Well, tell you what, how about this? Have you ever thought about, instead of using your own cash, like just borrowing from someone like me? What do you mean? Well, just like a bank, just like a hard money fund, we could do the same thing, but now you're dealing with a person, right? Just like a bank. So just like a bank, remember that. And these are secured loans. What makes private money lending so great? Your money is secured by an asset that's hopefully worth much more than your loan amount. All right. That's really, really important. That's what makes private money lending so special, right? Carolina says, I need a private loan, 2 to 3 years. All right. Well, get in Private Money Club. Get that thing posted, man. Get that thing in there, right? First position, right? Get it. That's a beautiful little deal if you're going to fix and flip it or do. Right. So, but you got to get it out there, right? I'll show you. How about this? At the end of the webinar, I'll show you my little system for getting people excited about my deals, if you guys want to see that. Okay. All right. So then next step, I'm going to show people the money, right? Get them excited. What makes private money lending great is because as real estate investors, we pay stupid amounts of interest. Okay. Most people out there think that 8%, 10%, that's like, ridiculous. In the real estate investing world, because there's shorter term loans, it makes sense for us. Okay. So I like to get people excited about the interest rates that I'm paying them. So I'm going to let them know, hey, we pay anywhere from 8 to 12% annualized interest. Each loan opportunity is unique. Now that's me. You got to figure out what you're going to do, what your range is going to be. But I like to put a range in there to get people excited. I like to be able to, I'm kind of, covering all ends of the spectrum there with my real estate investments. My rental properties are going to be towards a lower amount. My fix and flips are going to be a little bit higher. My short-term wholesale type of transactions, transactional funding is going to be a little bit more. I give them a range. Okay. Lenders, same thing. What are you going to charge? Right. So, hey, I charge anywhere from 10 to 15%. Each loan opportunity is unique, right? Have your range ready when you're developing your elevator pitch, okay? Which is super good. All right, let's go. What next step? All right, here's what we provide. So this is not the end all be all, okay? I want to make sure y'all know this. This is not everything there is, okay? There's more to it. What we're practicing here is the elevator pitch. So I'm practicing getting people excited, showing them we think and act like a bank would act, talking about interest rates that we might pay a person, but then also talking about how their money is secured, right? What makes this so special? And it's this stuff right here, right? So we're going to want to make sure we have a promissory note that outlines the terms of the loan. We're going to want to make sure that we provide our lenders with a mortgage or deed of trust, right? That secures the loan with the real estate. And by the way, we want all of these. This isn't like, well, let's just do number one, like pick door number one. No, that's not how this works, okay? Like we're going to go all 4 of them. I always want a personal guarantee. I always provide a personal guarantee. Many times we're lending to an LLC, or we have an LLC or some sort of entity for our real estate investing business. But even if you have an LLC, I want to make sure that I'm offering my lenders a personal guarantee as well, because I'm the one they're talking to. All right. And if someone's going to lend me 250 grand from their IRA, from their retirement account to go do a deal, I'm the one they've been talking to the whole time. You best believe that I'm going to put my own personal assets on the line for them, right? That's just how we do business. That's our standard. Okay. Some people are like, I don't know, we do. This is what we do. All right. Don says, is this checklist available in print? done, I would highly recommend signing up for that accelerator course because we go above and beyond in great detail, my man, on all different types of underwriting questions and things like this that we're going to want to ask. Okay, so I would have Jose put the link up there, schedule some time to talk with him. If you're thinking about lending, you're thinking about borrowing, it's a great investment in your education. No one can ever take away from you what I teach you in that accelerator course, hands down. And anybody that's on here who's taken it will tell you the same. Personal guarantee, insurance. So just like a bank. Now, I want to make this relatable to people, right? So they're like, okay, well, these are the things. Once I have interest and people are like, wow, okay, that makes sense. Like, I didn't know I could do this, right? Nobody ever told me I could do this. I didn't know I could make 10% using my Roth IRA as on mortgages, on private mortgages. Like, what? This is crazy. For sure, right? This helps it become relatable. All right, but there's other things that we might want, like a lender's title policy, and want to make sure we're doing proper title insurance work. We want to discuss how we're going to be communicating throughout the course of that project together, right? Different things like that. So there is a lot of stuff that we want to talk about, but for elevator pitch purposes, these are the Fab Four. Okay, Fab Four: promissory note, mortgage, deed of trust, personal guarantee, insurance, just like a bank, right? All right, here we go. Show me the money. Insurance, like FDIC. No, I'm talking about like house insurance. Like if there was a fire, if there was a flood, if there was vandalism on the property, if someone's tools were stolen while they were working there as the contractor, right? I'm talking about that type of insurance. And then on top of that, next level conversation would be lender's title insurance policy. So not only are we going to get a title policy for us as the real estate owner, but we're also going to take one out for our lenders, just in case there's any type of issues with stuff that could show up on the title, like heirs coming back into the picture, or all the stuff that a lender's title policy would cover, right? Fraud and things like that. All right, here's the big one. This is what's most important. All the documents are prepared and recorded by a licensed professional. Okay, so this is important. So let's just walk back here through the elevator. Hey, have you ever heard of a private money loan? It's a loan secured by real estate. Because people are going to ask you, hey, what do you do for a living? Oh, I flip houses like the TV shows. Is that something that kind of you're interested in? Oh, I've always wanted to do that, but I'm a doctor. I never have the time. Well, hey, did you know that I use private individuals just like yourself, everyday people, to fund my real estate deals, pay them a great rate of return, and secured by real estate just like a bank? What? They can do that? Yeah. We pay anywhere from 8 to 12% annualized interest. Each loan opportunity is unique. No way. Tell me more. Well, what's really cool is everything is secured. You have collateral. So we provide you with a promissory note, a mortgage, a deed of trust, listed on the insurance as the loss payee. I even do a personal guarantee on top of everything else. That sounds fantastic. Who does all this paperwork? All the documents are recorded and prepared by licensed professionals. Our team of attorneys can assist you with this if you like, right? And this is what's so important. So like, last thing I want, like, please don't go out and just say, okay, I've got someone that's interested. I'm going to go online and I'm going to type up a mortgage and a promissory note. I'm going to have them sign it. And then I'm going to put it in an envelope. I'm going to put it in my desk drawer so I know that it's safe, because all the important stuff goes in my desk drawer. That's not how this works. Okay, so everything is going to be recorded by a licensed professional, real estate attorney. Title company is going to be there depending on what state, how your state operates, right? And you're going to make sure that it's state specific. It's got everything in there that needs to be put in there. I'm all about making my life easy. I don't know about you guys. I like to make life easy. I don't like to work hard. So why would I give myself the extra job of trying to figure out what should go in a promissory note? Why am I going to give myself an extra job of trying to figure out how to type up a mortgage by reading blog posts on the internet? Like, I would much rather pay a real estate attorney that does this stuff every single day. And here's what's most important. After closing, everything gets recorded. If it doesn't get recorded, it's not public knowledge. Like, how do people know about this, right? So you want to get this recorded ASAP, as soon as possible, right? If you want a first position lien, it needs to get recorded, right? Can't go in the desk drawer. So we want to make sure we're working with a great team. The team prepares all the documents for you. It makes everyone's life super simple, right? At this point, you guys, okay, at this point, all we're doing, all this elevator pitch, and we're practicing, right? This is good practice. All the elevator pitch is doing is selling a meeting. It's selling a meeting. So this weekend when you're at your barbecues or wherever you're having these conversations, even on Private Money Club, if you're messaging folks on Private Money Club, you should never do a deal without having a relationship with someone, without having conversations about people or with people to meet them, find out what their goals are, what their family life is like all that stuff, right? You got to build the relationship. And then you start presenting the deals, right? So as I'm, this weekend when you're grilling hamburgers and hanging out with the kiddos at the pool or whatever you're doing, and you're practicing, you're having conversations, if people are interested about this, stop the conversation right here. Just stop, just be quiet, stop talking about it. Enjoy the weather, right? Enjoy the holiday, and set up a time to discuss it in greater detail. All right. The only objective of an elevator pitch is to set up a meeting, to set up a time to talk one-on-one. All right. And then you can kind of, if you have a deal that's ready to get funded, hopefully you put together a good package, a good proposal, and maybe we do this on one of our calls here next couple of weeks. So if you're going to ask someone for funding for a loan, make sure your proposal is dialed in. All right. It can't look like your fourth grader did it, right? I was looking at one last night. I'm sorry. My 10-year-old could have done a better job. He could have logged into canva.com and done a better job of what this person was presenting. So if you're going to start asking for funds, it's got to look the part, right? How you present your deals, how you communicate. Do you have scopes of work about what's going to go into the project? Do you have your real estate agent put together a CMA package of comparable properties for you? Is it all compiled neatly and easily accessible, easy to understand, easy to read? If there's a lot of gray areas in there, that project doesn't deserve the funding. And that's a reflection on what it's going to be like to work with you. So I would encourage all of you to educate yourself, right? Next week, I'm working on this exact topic with the class. I've got a group of borrowers in Accelerator program where we're going to be talking about things like the perfect loan proposal. In Private Money Club, let me just show you. I think I pulled mine up because I had a one-on-one meeting this morning with I really enjoyed speaking with this woman. It was a great call. And she's familiar with these things. And this is just an example of, like, if I didn't have a deal, let me just show you. Why not? I got it pulled up. I don't care. This is just in Private Money Club. One of the resources that they give you is this, what they call it a perfect loan proposal. So you can call it whatever you want. That's what they call it. And it's a template. So in Private Money Club, you can download their template, and I kind of customized it and made it my own. And then this just talks about our company. This isn't even about the deal. So if I had a deal ready to go, that it would start at page 12. It would be 12 through 20 would be about the deal. But this is just kind of a little information about myself, my wife, and our business. At a minimum, we want to have something like this put together so that as people are doing research about us, as we're presenting our deals, what are we working on? We're working on credibility. We're working on clarity. We're working on confidence, right? The community's there, right? Private Money Club provides the community and the resources. This is Private Money Club's template, right? So if someone wants to learn about us, they can come here and they can check all of this out, which is pretty cool, right? Do you have something how many of you have something like this put together, right? See you, Deborah. Deborah, good to see you. Yeah, how many of you have something like this put together? Jay Miller says, I couldn't find you on LinkedIn. Oh, that's for Bo. That's for Bo. You don't need to be on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is for people where they want jobs, right? If you're looking for funding, get in the Private Money Club, man. I'm just kidding. All right, so yeah, this is a good example. Yeah, James, we got to get working on this, man. If this isn't knocked out yet, this would be the homework assignment right here, right? Give examples of some of your past deals, right? Things like this, right? So this is a good example. Maybe that's what you work on this weekend. What would you give someone if they were like, hey, I'd love to set up, because after the elevator pitch, we're going to set up a meeting. What I want to do is I want to give someone some homework to do prior to our meeting to see if see how interested they are, to see if I can gauge, hey, did you get the packet about our company that I sent you? Yeah, we did. All right, great. Let's dive into it. Hey, did you get the packet about my company that I sent you? No, I haven't had time to go. I got it. I don't have time to go through it yet. Okay, cool. That tells me in my one-on-one meeting, I got to spend a little bit more time with them, right? To teach more about what private money lending is, right? Which is super cool. All right, guys. All right, let's see. Few questions here. Let's see what we got. How much is the accelerator course? Jose, put up the link. They do promotions. I know it I think it's right around 3,000. I could be, I could be wrong here. There might be. Do you do promo codes or? I don't know. I don't want to underpromise. I want to underpromise and overdeliver. But the PMC team does specials all the time. So I would click the link there that Jose just posted, and he'll be able to help you out. Where do you suggest we start when we are at the very beginning, short on funds and never purchase a property? This is a great question. Are you still on this? Are you still on? Let me know in the chat box if you asked that question. Are you still on? Where do you suggest we start when we are at the very beginning, short on funds, never purchased a property? Okay, cool. I would start, and I know this, I would start by clicking the link and talking to Jose, right? Because Jose can have a 30-minute conversation with you, and he's very well educated, knows this business in and out. And a lot of, when you say where do we start, is that in regards to building the private money lender relationships, or is it in your real estate investing? Like, what strategy should I start with? Okay, so those are both. Okay, yeah. So there's a lot of different facets to real estate. I would not start, Jamais, with a big project. I would not start with a big, huge fix and flip or anything like that. Okay, like I probably would avoid those at all costs, because there's so much that goes into that, especially if you're brand new, right? And especially if your funds are a little limited, because if you make a mistake, you don't account for foundation issue, or something happens and you got to spend an extra 10 grand, like that would stink, right? You don't want that to happen. So what I would do, I would focus on becoming a deal finder. And maybe next week we do a session on this, because I don't have a lot of time to talk about this now, but many of you have probably heard of like the wholesaling strategy. Maybe where, wholesaling strategy, lots of times people will say that wholesaling is you have two contracts, one contract to buy the property, one contract to buy the contract from someone else. If you're familiar with that, I don't want to like over teach something that people are like, what are you talking about? I don't really care about this. But it's called wholesaling. You can look it up. How I look at wholesaling, Jamais, is I'm just going to go buy the house. Okay. So as real estate investors, what I would recommend, you go out there and you become a deal finder, right? You put out the signs at the street corners to say, we buy houses. You maybe buy a pre-probate list and send letters to the people who are on that list, and their families asking if there's real estate for sale, and you're curious in buying the houses. I would do my absolute best to go out there and find motivated sellers and look for deals. All right. Now, what I would do, leveraging this beautiful community of Private Money Club, is I would start building relationships with people who are private money lenders that can fund short-term transactions. So instead of you going out and fixing and flipping the properties and having to hire contractors and all of this stuff, go find deals, buy the deals using private money, then turn around, find the best real estate agent in your town, have them put that property on the MLS for 30 grand more, and you just, run the numbers, and I would make $10,000, $20,000 checks without even fixing anything. I hope that makes sense. That's like, the 4-minute explanation of what I would do if I was just getting started. It's very difficult for me to explain in 4 minutes, life-changing advice, but that's why I would click the link, schedule some time with Jose, and see what Jose can do, and see what Private Money Club could offer you, right? Which is where I would start. All right, guys, this has been awesome. Would love the link for the mobile home challenge. Jose, can you throw up the link for the mobile home challenge one more time? How much is the accelerator course? I think it's a couple $1,000. I know if they have a premier member, they have like a package where if you do premier member and take the course, it's probably $3,000 for just the accelerator. But if you also do Premier member, there's some discounts and things like that. If you click on the link, they'll be able to tell you what's going on. All right, just booked, Victoria said. Fantastic, Victoria. Hey, I'm glad this was your first time on the call. I love it. Welcome. I hope this is just the start of your journey in Private Money Club, and you can leverage the platform to help you hit your goals. But I hope you guys got a ton of value from this class. We do this every single Thursday, so if you haven't already, go ahead. Let me put this up one more time. If you haven't already, go ahead and book on your calendar to come back next Thursday. All right, come back next Thursday. Where else can a person borrow all the money that they need to fund a real estate deal without having to go to the bank? That's what we're talking about here, right? So make a move. Create your profile. Schedule a blueprint demo, right? It's the same thing. When you create your free profile, we are inviting you to do a demo call to get a tour of the back office with a team member. We got the mobile home challenge coming up on the 8th. Accelerator course starts the 30th. Money Tank, we'll see you in Charlotte, November 8th and 9th. So, and then next week, same time, same place. Hope to see you there again. All right, guys. All right, I'm going to sign off. If there's any last questions, let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to be signing off. Hope everyone stays healthy this weekend, and I will see you next week. Take care, everybody. Bye.